What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are doing all right out there. I've got something new for the channel. It's new to me. It's different from the motorcycle stuff. It's different from the gun stuff. It all kind of relates. It's automotive related and it's outdoor related. I think it's going to be pretty neat. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's going to be some different content. But let's get into it. The 2020 Polaris RZR 1000 XP. Pretty neat, man. I've had it for about 2 months. I've taken it out a couple times. Probably can't tell for the video, but it's a little bit dirty. A little bit of red dirt still left on it from the mud park. But yeah, let's get into a little bit of the technical stuff on it and what I think I like about it so far, and we'll get into it. So, like I say, it's a 1000 Polaris, so it's a 999. What they talk about. It's a what is that? PVT transmission. So it's a, what did I say? 1000. So it's a 999. All the time belt driven. So if you know anything about that, you just put it in gear and go. The thing about this thing is you got to have the seat belt on. So if you're just driving around, you can just drive it around your house or whatever without the seat belt on. It puts it in the limp mode, so you can't do anything without the seat belt on. So it's for safety, which is kind of neat. It's got 110 horsepower, which I can attest to. It's got some pretty good strength. They say it'll do like 70 something miles an hour. I could imagine that. I haven't had it that fast, but I can imagine it'll do that. It's got quite a bit of suspension. I think the ground clearance is 14 inches. See that here in the front. Got quite a bit of clearance. It's actually pretty wide. Most of the RZRs that I had ever seen were fairly narrow. I guess it's a different type, maybe. I'm not really sure if that's the XP part. This looks like a wide, long travel suspension. It's not. They sell a long travel suspension for this vehicle, and it's actually way wider. This makes for quite a good, stable platform for this thing. Let's see. These shocks are pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell on the front. It's all the way around. It's got adjustable preload. And then I'll go around to the back. This side over here is easier to see because the airbox is in a different position. So you see the preload on this side. And then that little bug, it's got a adjustment for how hard or soft the suspension can get. So it's got 2 different types of adjustment on these shocks. So it's basically a race car. But it's got a lot of cool stuff. It actually came with these doors. I didn't have to add that. And a lot of times they don't come with the bottom part. So it actually came with the whole door. A lot of times you have to buy the bottom part. I think they call them quarter doors or something like that. It came with the full door. But one of the cooler parts about this is the ride command. And that's this radio here in the dash. It's got tons of stuff in it. So it's got GPS, AM FM stereo, Bluetooth. It's got MP3, so you could hook it up to, you could actually hook your phone up to it, or you can hook an MP3 player up to it, or you can hook a stupid, what are them things, flash drive up to it, and you can play your music through it. Or if you had the right Sena, I think they're separate. I don't know if you know anything about motorcycles, you can buy those Sena Bluetooth headsets. If the other RZRs have it, you can actually talk to other RZRs through this system. So you could communicate, ride communication, to other riders through this ride command. It's really neat. But it's got coolant level. I mean, how long you've been riding, when you need to do your service, all kinds of stuff. There's your high and low, your four-wheel drive. It's not got a locker. It's not a diff. It's not a true diff. It's a four-wheel drive. It's like a limited slip. So that I wish was a little bit different, but it actually works pretty good. And then on the dash over here, you got your analog speedo and your analog tach, and then in the middle, it's got another trip meter. It's got temperature gauge. I think it's even got the speedo again. It's got all kinds of stuff in the dash. I mean, it's just got tons and tons of technology in this thing. It's got it's got a 12-volt connection here for it's basically a cigarette lighter. I guess you could hook a Q-beam here. You could hook basically anything that takes 12-volt power. A little bit of storage here. 2 glove compartments. This one's actually pretty deep. This one here in the center is where your MP3 hookup is. Your flash drive hookup is right here. That's where I hook my phone up to charge it. You don't have to hook your phone up to play because it's Bluetooth, like I say, but that's where I hook my phone up to charge it. It's all waterproof in there, or water resistant at least. I've sprayed and not got any water in there that I could tell. You can see a little bit of dust in there. I don't think it's 100% waterproof, but it's water resistant. Let's see. These seats, pretty good. I don't have any complaints out of them just yet. I mean, they're Razor seats, so they're not like Cadillac, but they're pretty good, comfortable seats. I think the Turbo S's were a little bit more comfortable. They had more bolstering. It's just regular old Razor seat belts. Those are probably going to go pretty quick. I'm going to do the seatbelt delete there in the center where you just plug it in and you can do harnesses. I don't know if you can see it here. You see over there, it's got the speakers in the door. They get pretty loud. They sound pretty good. You can always do the upgrade. This right here is the intake for the air box on this side. You can see that down there. It's got this frog skin stuff over it, but it still lets in. I guess that's probably could be from the car wash pushing water into it, or from when you wash it pushing dust into there. I'm not 100% sure what. I think I'm going to snorkel it anyway, but that's going to be a little bit later. Here's your box. I think it's a 300-pound load capacity. It's not a terrible lot, but this ain't really meant for hauling much but ass, and it'll do that. It's not very big. It'll hold my ice chest for four-wheeler riding. They make, of course, the aftermarket stuff where you could basically fills up that whole thing, and you can either use it for safety storage or ice chest, or basically anything you want. But I think I'm going to do that eventually. And yeah, so that's pretty much it back here. Not much to that. Oh, these tail lights, they're all the lights are LED, so they're super bright. But this tail light package back here, the tail lights and that center light all light up at once. So it kind of looks like a Dodge Challenger when it lights up just riding. That's pretty neat. And then you hit the brakes, of course, just the brake lights light up. I don't know if it's power steering or power assisted steering, but when you turn the power on, the steering is 10 times easier than just sitting there with the power off. It's pretty neat. Like I say, it's got DRLs in the front. Those two lights just right there. If the lights are off, just those lights light up. And then, of course, it's got LED lights in the front. But all this stuff being painted in the front, super slick looking. That orange is just killer. It's like a sunburst orange. It's like that Corvette orange. I can't remember the color code for it, but it's almost like that Corvette, that C7, I think it was C5 maybe. I can't remember the year. I think it was 2007. They had a Corvette that was that color, and man, it was pretty close to this color. And man, it was super slick. That's almost the same color. And they had one. They said like, "Hey, do you like orange?" And I said, "Man, not really," because I thought it was going to be that kind of light color orange a lot of stuff is. And they took me back in the back and showed me this, and I was like, man, that sucker is sweet. Let's see what the paperwork is. But they got 29-inch Maxxis Bighorns around it. Pretty good tire. Not necessarily a mud tire, although it's pretty aggressive for an all-terrain tire. That's what they keep telling me, it's an all-terrain tire. I'm looking at getting a mud tire, but people keep telling me, because these are offset, that's 29. They're 29-inch tall, but they're 11s in the back. Yeah, 29 by 11 in the back and 29 by 10 in the front, or something like 29 by 9 in the front. They're 14s, but they're 9s in the front, 11s in the back. They're quite a bit wider in the back. And so they don't sell an offset tire or something like that. I'm thinking they've got to be, you got to be able to buy a wider, I don't know, just buy them separate. But anyway, I don't know. Somebody was at the dealership was trying to tell me they don't sell an offset package. I'm thinking, yeah, they got to be. But anyway, I'm thinking about buying a mud tire for it, just because I would do a little bit more of that. But I don't know. These aren't too bad for right now, since they're brand new. This is the belt drive side airbox, or not airbox, belt side drive. Belt drive side intake, excuse me. I'm so hot mixing my words up. That's the intake inlet. But yeah, this thing's pretty slick. Big old trail arm. It's boxed. And that's the, I guess, control arm. It doesn't have a hitch. You can put a hitch plate on the back that boxes that in, and actually has a square tube for a hitch. Oh, I didn't mention, it has a backup camera. So when you put it in reverse, you can see where you're going, because it's kind of hard to turn around in this thing. I tried several different ones. I had went looking for a Talon. Didn't like the ride of the Talon. It rode kind of like a log wagon. Maybe that was just the one that they had for me. When I got out and looked at it, they had all the suspension was all different. It was all tuned differently. It just weird. It bounced, the rear end bounced all over the place. And then we rode Kawasaki's side by side, their bigger one, their sport one. I can't remember the name of it, but it was actually pretty nice. But it was giant. It was twice the size of this thing, and I didn't like the way the gearing felt in it. And then they had one of these that was totally black. I think it might have had a little bit of white, but the stickers were all black. I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it drove. But we were looking, and then somebody had bought it. We were actually test driving somebody's ride that they were buying. And they said they had this one, and so we went and did the paperwork. But yeah, that's pretty much it on this thing. It's got a lot of cool stuff. I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully we'll get some good content out of it. We're going to get some ride videos. I've got a light bar coming. We'll do the light bar install. It's going to be one that goes in between the front roll bars right there. It's going to be a 31-incher. Going to have a switch on the inside. It's going to be a good setup. Also got a Badland winch and a winch plate. I picked that up yesterday. Going to be a video on that. It goes in there. That's going to be the next video. And then we'll have some ride videos after that. But all in all, I really enjoy this thing so far. Just got to find some different places to ride it, because it's a little bit wide for just cutting through trails. I'm definitely going to get a bumper, because you go through whacking through woods and this, and you're going to tear up a lot of this painted plastic, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to get me one of them good looking bumpers that cover up the whole front here and take care of this thing. So anyway, there'll be a lot of videos on this thing, installs, and breakdown videos on this thing. But anyway, so that's it on this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Y'all take it easy out there, and be safe. Thanks.